Do I have ASD or ADHD or both? Hi, my name is Chris, and I'm a late diagnosed autistic who also happens to be an ADHDer. In this video, I'm going to share 5 signs that you too may have both. What I'll do is I'll break down each sign by how it looks for my ADHD brain, my autistic brain, and then the combination. But keep in mind that the lines of autism between ADHD can be blurred a lot, and there can be some overlap. All right, are you ready for sign number 1? Because I'm ready. I was born ready. Sign number 1, difficulty with social interactions. For ADHD, you probably tend to interrupt a lot and have a hard time focusing, especially if you're not interested. You might move around a lot, and because your brain is in all kinds of other spots, you might miss body cues or parts of the conversation because you were distracted or thinking about something else. For ASD, you might focus on something specific if making eye contact instead of the entire face. Or you might not make eye contact at all. You may have challenges interpreting the tempo of conversation, need longer processing time, and might miss implied meanings. It's also possible you might come across to other people, particularly non-autistic people, as too blunt, monotone, or disengaged. This can be a little bit tricky, especially in professional working environments. Attention people at work. Just because we are monotone, blunt, or seem disengaged doesn't mean we are rude or not interested. You might be wrong, so don't do it to us. We don't need it. Tone it back, slow it down, and then stop doing it. Yes, even you, and you. My voice is monotone right now, but I'm not rude. Don't assume. Okay, so how does this look for my ADHD brain? Well, social interactions are just overall challenging because my mind is all over the place. I don't even know where it is half the time, or how it even got there. Where's my brain going next? Your guess is as good as mine. Also, my eyes might dart around a lot. I'm not exactly sure what to look at sometimes because I get distracted very easily all the time. My body language is a complete mess. I have no idea most of the time what my face looks like. Actually, sometimes people will tell me to cheer up or ask me, dude, what's wrong? After looking at my face. And it startles me because inside, I'm excited. What do you mean cheer up? There's a party going on in my brain. I'm bouncing to every good song ever made, like this. I mean, I'm really feeling it. But I'm acutely aware that my body language beats to its own drum, and I have to try to focus on what I'm doing. But I often miss a lot of the conversation. I learned how to use humor to deflect from the times when I miss large parts of the conversation due to zoning out or my mind wandering, especially if the person I'm talking to is really incredibly boring. Sign number 2, intense focus on special interests. So for ADHD, you hyperfocus on something and deep dive into the topic. You might pick up on a new interest fairly often, but you really go all in on the interest and you can become really knowledgeable in it before switching focus. But let's be honest, if it's a project, you might not see it through to completion. ADHDers have been known to get bored or distracted pretty often. For ASD, you might have long special interests and stick with those interests for longer periods of time. When you're interested, you'll also deep dive into the topic, often becoming experts in them. If it's a project, you really want to finish it and complete it, to the point where you'll forgo eating, drinking, going to the bathroom, or even sleeping until the project is completed. For the combination, things can get a little bit tricky. What happens here is I will start a project and possibly get distracted, and then start another project and get distracted, and then maybe another project, or 8 or 20. Shy. And I might not finish all of them, most of them, possibly not any of them. But here's what's going to happen. I'm going to come to a point where maybe some of these projects are connected and they weren't finished, and I'm going to feel it. It's going to hit me right here and here and there, all of those spots. And I'm going to start feeling overwhelmed, and I'm going to get irritable and then angry and possibly have a meltdown because it's all going to be too much. This idea that all of these projects that I care about, that I want to finish, are not finished, but they need to be finished. Maybe I can't do anything else until they're finished, but in my mind, they all have to be finished. So just one step at a time mentality, it doesn't come so easy to me. And it can get tiring and frustrating and very overwhelming. And then I'll just need to rest. But I don't want to rest, but I'm tired and I'm exhausted and I can't finish the projects. but my mind really wants to finish the projects. So there's a little bit of a conflict. There's an internal battle going on inside of my brain, and that can suck. Okay, sign number 3, sensitivity to sensory stimuli. So for ADHD, you can get overwhelmed by too much stimuli, like large crowds, a lot of noise, those kind of things. ADHDers' sensitivity to sensory stimuli, it's on a broader stance than ASD. So for ASD, there's stronger, more specific instances of sensitivity to sensory stimuli. You might avoid certain stimuli while also having a strong pull towards other stimuli. For the combination, I feel like my sensitivities to sensory stimuli are much more intense, having both ADHD and ASD. I get sick and nauseous around crowds, heat, and loud noise. I don't do well with sudden noises or bright lights, and I don't do well with a ton of different smells and textures. When I was in college, I had to leave my biology lab regularly because the smells would bother me so much. I remember specifically when we were dissecting pigs. Good God, it stunk. But on the flip side, certain smells can also really, really calm me down and make me feel great. It feels like warm water surging through my body. It's a very pleasant and calming feeling. Sign number 4, adherence to routines. ADHDers crave spontaneity and impulsivity. Why have a routine when you can just do whatever the heck you feel like? For ASD, it's the complete opposite. We like structure, repetition, and routines. Deviating from a set routine isn't good. We do not like that at all. Having the combination of both ADHD and ASD here can be, pretty messy. My ADHD brain gets bored, especially around the house when I don't have projects, and it'll tickle my brain into thinking I need to leave my safe spot and go out and do something. Explore a new place, meet up with friends. Usually the sensory sensitivities pop up, and gradually my brain and battery starts to wear down. One of the biggest reasons this happens is I can't filter sounds. All sounds are treated equally in my brain. So when I'm engaged in a conversation, I have to spend a lot of brain power focusing on what's being said. And this is assuming that I'm in a place that's somewhat tolerable with people I know well, and I'm also not needing to focus quite as much on masking. But I'll still have to do some. So anything related to my senses, like a chair that's uncomfortable or a smell that's either intoxicating or unpleasant, it's going to overwhelm my brain. If people get too close to me or touch me, it's going to cause problems with my brain. Eventually, my ASD brain can't function, and I'll start zoning out. And I have to do this because the battery in my brain is empty. My tank is running out quickly. I think where it gets tricky is I was just engaged and funny a few minutes ago. So to everyone else, it seems a little bit strange when I just start zoning out. So then I leave soon after to go home. My ASD brain is very happy to be home and starts to relax. But then my ADHD brain starts to kick into gear and overthink absolutely everything that happened while I was out. Convinced that I said something inappropriate or I bothered someone and I didn't notice. It's like replaying the scenario in my brain of what I should have said instead over and over and over again. And it takes forever, especially if I'm convinced something went wrong. The ruminating thoughts swirling constantly, and it's exhausting. And it exhausts me even more. And honestly, it's really, really hard to relax. Sign number 5, executive functioning challenges. So for ADHD, there's a hard time getting started on tasks. Nonstop. There's so much happening in my brain, so I don't know where to start. My brain won't allow enough quiet time that I can strategize and pinpoint the starting spot. And now that I'm older, I'm more hesitant about starting certain projects because I've seen the outcome of diving in without planning properly. Sometimes it's not good and you have to go back and redo everything. So it's a combination of not knowing where to start and also not being able to close things out, getting distracted and never finishing. The big thing with ADHD is the lack of impulse control. And sometimes when you're working on something, you need to have control over your impulses. So I'll get this idea in my brain, and the next thing you know, an hour later, I'm in the store buying this expensive piece of equipment without thinking through what I'm going to do with it fully. I bring it back, and then I run into some challenges. And usually what happens then is I'll push through a little bit, but then I'll get frustrated, and I'll put it aside. And a few weeks later, I still haven't touched this really expensive piece of equipment, which I wasted a lot of money on. What happens is I'm bouncing around because I get another idea, or I think, hey, before I do that task, I should probably do this other task first. And a lot of the time I need help, or I'm in a zone and I get interrupted, which is when my ASD brain kicks in. When I am working and focused and I get interrupted, my ASD brain goes crazy. I am a very monotropic thinker when I get going on a project, so it's difficult for me when I get interrupted. Or if it's kind of complicated and I need to switch between different parts of the project, my autistic brain gets frustrated. I need to take a lot of breaks when transitioning between tasks. Sometimes I don't want to take breaks though, because I want to keep going. But I need a break or else I'll get more frustrated and I'll end up quitting or breaking something or breaking multiple somethings. So for the combination, executive functioning challenges show up a lot with both being autistic and having ADHD. I often have no concept of time or how long things will take me or anything without help of another person, usually Debbie, or alarms or other outside cues. I can get very easily frustrated or overwhelmed by things that involve prioritizing or thinking through all the steps of something or breaking things into multiple days, because why need sleep when you can just keep going until it's done? But if I don't get things done, my brain has a hard time sleeping because ADHD brain is excited to go, 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 go. And autistic brain wants to finish it and get it done. So it can be a little bit chaotic for me. So if you struggle with social interactions, have an intense focus on special interests, are sensitive to sensory stimuli, have difficulties with routines or changes in routines, and have executive functioning challenges, you might have autism and ADHD combo, like me. That also means you're probably tired a lot, because that pull from the two sides can be exhausting. Get to know your brain well and figure out what works best for you. It'll be a little different for everyone. And just know there's other people like you out there who feel that same pull in our own unique combination. It's just our special brains doing their thing. What are some of the signs that I missed? Do you notice the ones I mentioned? I love reading your comments and questions, so be sure to drop one as you like this video. And please, share it with someone who you think could benefit from better understanding of ADHD. Also, if you found ways to help yourself with these signs or other challenges, drop those in the comments so we can all learn from you. And as always, thanks for watching and for your support. But I don't want to rest because I want to finish the projects.